names we've heard of and good things about all said. So it's nice to put a few names to faces. So thank you for making Heather, my wife, and I very welcome over here. When I was asked to do this speech, I was asked, wasn't I?
In the end.
I sent a text message that said, what was very kind is that he did actually send me over what he wanted me to say. They sent back something about making him look good and bits and pieces and some other stuff. I thought I'd start by just introducing. My name's Martin. I've known Nick all my life as my brother, so I'm quite well placed to give this, I suppose. But I'd like to say that I'm his younger brother, because age has always been a bit of a banter with him. He's 5 years older than me, so he's done everything first. But I sadly lost the hair first. I'd like to say that I'm also the younger and better looking one, but I can't even say that. Nick has always sort of moulded himself on Richard Gere. And apparently in the past there's even been a few people who've actually said he bears the passing resemblance to Richard Gere. And if you'd like to take part, please do. If you squint, if you tilt your head to 90 degrees to the left, and you stand a good way back, can you see it? Yeah, there we are. Was yours the guide dog out there? Yeah. I sometimes get called, or resemblance-wise, Ross Kemp or Bruce Willis. No, I'm fine with that. I think that's quite good. Oh. Sorry, you can't please everyone, did you? Heckled from the back. A recent Skype phone call with my brother using, because unfortunately, sadly, we don't get to see each other as much as I'd like. He ran away to Gibraltar to get away from me. But I was growing a bit of a goatee at the time, and he just said I look like Ning the Merciless. Out! There you are! Not yet. I will. I'll find you. I have a set of skills. I really do. But the reason for mentioning that rubbish stuff about looks was I really just wanted to say, Ali, you look stunning. You really do. Everyone will agree with me when I say that Nick is punching seriously above it all. Well, after a couple of goes at this wedding lark, it's nice that my brother has finally agreed that I am the better man, or certainly the best brother in terms of that. But I take that job very, very seriously. I know it comes with some terrific responsibilities. So you'd be pleased to know that I had practiced this speech back in the UK. We live in Norfolk, and I went down to a local old people's home. And I tested it out there, tested my jokes, wanted to make sure they were reasonably funny. And the nurse the following day rang me up and gave some really positive feedback. At least half the group had actually wet themselves during my speech. That was positive. Well, today is all about, it's a great ambassadorial role for the government's flagship scheme, Care in the Community. But seriously, Ali, I think you're taking the job description just a little bit too far. But you're a great advocate for it. But joking apart, seriously, it's an absolute honour to be here today. And when my brother asked me to be the best man, I couldn't have been more shocked. It's a real pleasure, and I'm truly delighted. I've known him, as I said, all my life, and I've never seen him happier, more at peace, content. And I've had 34 years of that with my lovely wife Heather, and it's amazing. And I thank you for everything for the old boy. So we're really pleased that we could be here. We weren't sure we'd get here with all the travel restrictions and bits and pieces, and over here, over in the UK, we've seen the tourist industry get absolutely devastated. We live in Norfolk, and it's been hit there badly. And you'll know that a lot of people are choosing to stay in the UK and vacation, and staycation they're calling it. So I was really pleased when I heard that Nick was going to be spending honeymoons in Wales, isn't it, Nick? Is that right? I'm sure I certainly he said he was going to bang her for 2 weeks. It's all downhill from now. I hope you had a great day so far. It's been really great. To be honest, we've just flown out here and we've had little to do. If you've ever been a best man or been involved, usually there's some responsibilities there. No. It's been great. We've come out here, the sun's shining. It's been great catching up with people, family, friends, things like that. But I just would like to say a few thank yous, if that's okay, if I may. Firstly to Jenna and of course Kevin, but Jenna particularly for at least being out here, getting the old boy organised. It's the first time I've been trying. Also to Jay for walking down the aisle or through the curtain, through the veil. So, one of the things they said when I looked up on Wikipedia about how to do a best man speech was try to make it interactive. So can I just ask you just to raise what a glass that you have and just a toast to the daughters. It's also a good excuse. The more you drink, the less you remember about this speech. Also, I mean, fantastic setting, beautiful place to have it. The weather's been great, no Levanter, or is it Levanter, is that the answer, is that right? Yeah, so you're not sweating, so it's lovely. When I sort of knew that I had to do this, there was a couple of things I wanted to do. I looked up at what should a best man speech be. I want to do right by my brother, that's important. And it said it should be a character assassination. I can do that, I said, that's fine. And I was worried about how long do I go on for, and it said roughly that the best man's speech should be about as long as the groom usually makes love to his wife. So I had a quick chat to Alex and said, just make it quick. So,
not 2 weeks in.
So I just thought I'd tell you a little bit about the man, the myth, the legend that is my brother Nicholas Stephen Percival Algernon. And I said, brother, I'm in a really good place to do that. I said, but please no, I won't, because actually the cheque did clear in time, so I won't be saying half those things. But you may not have realised it, but you, over the years, mate, you have been a very significant influence in my life. Good point. Seriously, you have. As a result of you, I've been ridiculed, laughed at, beaten up. He could not wear out any of his clothing. It was always handed down to me. Well, that's fine. But I had stuff that was 5 years out of fashion. Not good. I was 10 years of age before I had my own underpants and socks. I'm sorry, it's a gross thought, but and the trouble was my brother, I mean, he's looking at him now, I've got the lumber on. But he was a chunky monkey when he was a kid. And it took at least 7 years before the stuff would actually fit me. I could tell you a lot more about Nick growing up. His CB radio days. He used to sit in his car up on the Telegraph Hill, Holden Moor.
Are you sure?
Those days when it was the old, was it 1, 2, good buddy, CB, rubber duck, They used to spend hours up on there talking to lonely women. And lorry drivers. Lorry drivers, strange combination. There's also his love of planes, trains, and cars. And probably, I mean, today isn't about ridiculing him. Just a little bit. I can remember one particular day, young man, when you sort of used to come back in at sort of like 3 a.m. in the morning in your Pride and Joy, your Red Avenger, bomb up the driveway, scream into the car park on the drive. My father also had a very nice car. It was his Pride and Joy, and he always tucked it away in the garage every night, religiously, except 1, no. And Nick came in at 3 a.m. as per normal, slammed it in, whacked it into reverse, didn't bother looking because he never did, nothing ever happened, drove it into there, and my bedroom right back onto there, and all I heard was burning rubber and then the... Is there any policemen in the room? Police officer in?
Yeah.
I believe it's got to fail to stop. Bam, crack, boom, well, took him a week before he'd come home. A lot of appeasing phone calls, and his mum had to make sure that smooth waters were done. Now, I could tell you a lot more about Nick, and mine would be a large scotch on the bar if you want to know more. I can even make stuff up because at his age, his memory's fading. Memories are certainly very hazy, but I won't. After all, as I said earlier, it is your day, and the cheque is clear. But take a moment just to be a bit serious. So, reminded of something I would just like to, and Nicky said about reading there. It's just something that I came across recently, and I'd just like to share it with you if I may. I hope you can hear it back, but I'm just going to read it off the cards because tomorrows are never promised. Live this day and live it well. Make memories for all to treasure. Take loads of photos as markers of your journey through life. They are a great comfort and reminder of all. And if you'll indulge me just for a moment, it's not often that I get the upper hand with my brother. So what I'd like to do is just take this opportunity to take a photo of me aiming a little bit taller than him just at this moment in time, but also just for me, very selfishly, to remember this moment.
Brilliant.
Most of you won't probably know this, but Nick and I have never, or not always been, as close perhaps as we are now. We drifted apart as often families do, siblings do, and said he came all the way over to Gibraltar to get away from me. I didn't think I was that bad, but he did. And it wasn't until, sadly, that we lost our mum that we really reconnected and bonded. It was that shared common sorrow and a litre bottle of bells, as I remember. Yeah? In one night, it took that to death. But it was the silver lining of a very, very, very dark cloud, and I couldn't let tonight go. A little bit of Sally has done as well. Just to say that if Mum and Dad were here, I know how much it would mean to them today, how proud they are of my brother, how much they loved him, and Ali, they would have absolutely loved you, darling. They really would. You would have been taken to their hearts so wonderfully. They would absolutely love you. And I'm sure today that they are with both of us, certainly in our minds, in our hearts, and in spirit. I made a promise to my mum that I'd look after my brother, and I now entrust that to you. I know you love him. I know it very, very much. It's very clear. It's very evident. And it's great to get rid of the burdens, to be honest. But I know, I feel it here, and it's true. I've never seen him looking so happy. And Ali, I remembered or reminded of something that my mum said to Heather on our wedding day. No receipts, no returns, and definitely no road funds. Okay? And Nick is for life, not just for Christmas. So please, I know you will, but take good care of him because he can't take care of himself. So ladies and gentlemen, what I'd love you to do, please, is whatever glass you've got, would you please join me in just saying a really heartfelt toast to the very, very happy couple, to Nick and to Ali. Cheers. Thank you.
What am I?
Well done.